Hello and welcome to Mastermind with me, Clive Myrie. In the spotlight tonight are Scott Torrance, a student recruitment manager. His specialist subject is the New York subway system. Pamela Fell, a data scientist whose subject is the Ocean's film franchise. Nicola Grant, a contract manager. She'll be answering questions on the 1916 Easter Rising. And Damien Pugh, a librarian. His subject is the novels of the American author Donna Tartt. How would you perform, do you think, sitting in the famous black chair? The spotlight in your eyes, the clock ticking down, the butterflies having a whale of a time in your stomach. Exactly. So spare a thought then for our 4 brave contenders willing to subject themselves to the rigors of the toughest quiz on television. 2 minutes on a specialist subject and 2.5 minutes on general knowledge are the rivers that must be crossed to reach the semi-finals. So, can I ask our first contender to join us, please? Your name?
Scott Torrance.
Your occupation?
Student recruitment manager.
And your specialist subject?
The New York subway system.
Yeah, one of the oldest and largest public transportation systems in the world. In 2 minutes. Let's go. What's the name of the Irish-born contractor who won the tender to build the first New York City subway lines with construction beginning in 1900?
John McDonald.
Yes. What volunteer crime prevention group was founded in 1979 to patrol the subway?
Guardian Angels.
Yes, the deepest station on the network, about 180 feet below street level, is which station on the One line?
181st.
No, 191st. Smith 9th Street stations on the F and G lines stands on a viaduct approximately 90 feet above which canal?
The Gowanus Canal.
Yes, who was appointed chief engineer of the Board of Rapid Transit Commissioners in 1894 and was described by the subway's early financier, August Belmont Jr., as the real author of the underground system.
William Barclay Parsons.
Yes. What 1908 document issued by the Public Service Commission called for a doubling of subway mileage and new lines to be built?
The dual contracts.
No, the Tri-Borough Plan. What was the name of the Brooklyn College student and NAACP activist who, in April 1948, became the first black woman to be voted Miss Subways?
Tessa Smith.
No, Thelma Porter. In 1955, the city bought the abandoned Long Island Railroad line and adapted it for subway use, including the construction of a fireproof bridge over what body of water, which it crosses to reach Far Rockaway?
Broad Channel?
No, Jamaica Bay. In the early 1980s, the New York mayor, Ed Koch, was criticized for suggesting that the Metropolitan Transportation Authority should use what wild animals to deter graffiti artists from getting into train yards on the subway network?
Wolves.
Yes, which company built the R32 model trains, nicknamed the Bright Liners because of their shiny stainless steel exteriors that were introduced from 1964?
Bennett Company.
No, the Budd Company. Which Spanish architect designed the vaulted ceiling at the City Hall station?
Calatrava.
No, Rafael Guastavino. Until 2006, special armoured revenue trains staffed with armed guards collected cash takings from stations. I've started, so I'll finish. Collected cash takings from stations and took them to an MTA building on which Brooklyn thoroughfare?
J Street.
It was J Street. So, Scott, you had no passes at the end of that round. You've got 6 points. And our next contender, please. Your name?
Pamela Fell.
Your occupation?
Data scientist.
And your specialist subject?
The Ocean's films.
The classic 1960 heist film Ocean's 11, its 2001 remake, and the subsequent films in the franchise. In 2 minutes, let's go. Which member of the Rat Pack plays the character Josh Howard, who drives the rubbish truck in the original 1960 film?
Sammy Davis Jr.
Yes, in the 2001 film Ocean's 11, the 3 Las Vegas casinos that the gang planned to rob are the MGM, Grand, the Mirage, and which other, described by Rusty as having the least accessible vault ever designed?
The Bellagio.
Yes, when Debbie Ocean, played by Sandra Bullock, is released from prison at the start of Ocean's 8, the personal possessions that are returned to her include what item, which she says she stole from her brother, Danny?
A A watch.
Yes, what's the criminal alias of the master thief Francois Toulour, played by Vincent Cassel, in Oceans 12 and 13 on account of the figurines he leaves at the scenes of his crimes?
The Night Fox.
Yes, in the 2001 version of Oceans 11, when Rusty recruits Saul, he meets him at a dog racing track in which city in Florida?
Williamsburg.
No, St. Petersburg. What's the name of the casino domino game that Frank Catton promotes at the Future of Gaming Expo in Oceans 13?
Enough said.
Yes, in the 1960 film, Danny Ocean and other members of the group who carry out the robbery are former commandos of which U.S. Airborne Infantry Division?
The 82nd.
Yes, what's the name of the Chicago pub where Danny meets the pickpocket Linus Caldwell and offers him a plane ticket to Las Vegas in the 2001 version of Oceans 11?
Emmett's Pub.
Yes, in Oceans 12, it transpires that Toulour's previous crimes include causing a 200-foot yacht owned by the king of which country to vanish into thin air?
Morocco.
Yes, in the 1960 film, Shirley MacLaine makes an appearance as a tipsy woman to whom Dean Martin's character says that he used to be Ricky Nelson, but is now which other singer?
Frank Sinatra.
Oh, Perry Como. What's the name of the Belfast DJ and musician who composed the soundtracks for the 3 Oceans films directed by Steven Soderbergh?
David Holmes.
Yes. What's the name of the insurance fraud investigator played by James Corden? I've started, so I'll finish. Played by James Corden in Oceans 8, who's described by Daphne Kluger as the little Columbo dude with everything but the trench coat.
John Fraser.
Yes, it is John Fraser. Pamela, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 10 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. Your name,
Nicola Grant.
your occupation,
Contract manager.
and your specialist subject.
The Easter Rising.
The 1916 armed uprising against British rule in Ireland, mainly in Dublin, which set in motion the events that led to the creation of an independent Irish state. In 2 minutes, let's go. In the days leading up to the rising, which academic and chief of staff of the Irish Volunteers countermanded the order to mobilise the movement, leading to a lower than expected turnout of rebel combatants?
Owen McNeill.
Yes, the capture of which ship off the coast of Kerry deprived the Irish Republican Brotherhood's military council of 20,000 German rifles intended for use in the rising?
The Odd.
Yes, what was the number of the house in Northumberland Road from where Republican snipers inflicted heavy casualties on advancing British troops in the Mount Street Bridge area?
Number 25.
Yes, who resigned as the British government's chief secretary for Ireland in May 1916 following his failure to prevent the rising?
Birwell.
No, Augustine Birrell. Which Republican position, commanded by Sean Houston, was forced to surrender after coming under sustained attack from troops advancing towards the city centre?
The Mendicity Building.
Yes, Mendicity Institute. Which member of the Republican women's organisation, Cumann na mBan, who served as a sniper with the Irish Citizen Army, was shot and wounded while attempting to burn down buildings in Harcourt Street?
Constance Markievicz.
No, Margaret Skinnider. Republican forces at what distillery in Marrowbone Lane were reinforced by Con Colbert and his men, who'd been ordered to withdraw from Watkins Brewery on RD Street?
Jameson Distillery.
Yes, the demeanour of which of the rising's leaders at his court-martial prompted Major General Charles Blackadder to state that there must be something very wrong in the state of things that makes a man like that a rebel?
James Connolly.
No, Patrick Pearse. A matinee performance of which play by W.B. Yeats was cancelled by the Abbey Theatre following the rising's outbreak?
The Siren.
No, Kathleen Ni Houlihan. What was the name of the founding member and joint secretary of Cumann na mBan, who, although critical of Pearse's decision to launch the rising, helped run the GPO's makeshift kitchen?
Helena Maloney.
No, Louise Govan Duffy. In which Dublin park did combatants on both sides observe a twice-daily ceasefire to allow... I've started, so I'll finish. A twice-daily ceasefire to allow James Carney, the park's keeper, to feed its resident population of ducks?
St. Stephen's Green.
It was St. Stephen's Green. So, Nicola, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 6 points. And our final contender, please. Your name,
Damien Pugh,
your occupation,
librarian,
and your specialist subject.
the novels of Donna Tartt.
The award-winning work of the acclaimed American author born in Mississippi. In 2 minutes, let's go. What fictional Vermont college, attended by the book's narrator, Richard Paypen, is the setting for Donna Tartt's debut novel, The Secret History?
Pass.
The titular painting in The Goldfinch, which the book's narrator, Theo Decker, puts into his bag after surviving a deadly explosion at a New York museum, is a work by which artist?
Carol Fabricius.
Yes. What was the first name of the eldest child of the Mississippi family, the Clive Dufresnes, whose unexplained death is at the centre of Tartt's second novel, The Little Friend?
Robin.
Yes. In The Secret History, Richard's acquaintance, Judy Poovey, relates how his fellow student, Henry Winter, once broke the collarbone of which other student in a fight?
Spike Romney.
Yes. In The Goldfinch, what's the name of Theo's mother's former housekeeper who visits him while he's staying with the Barber family?
Cynthia.
Yes, in The Secret History, Richard's fellow student Bunny Corcoran writes an essay on the friendship between John Donne and which other writer?
Isaac Walton.
Yes, in The Goldfinch, when Theo returns to his mother's apartment block to retrieve the titular painting before his move to Las Vegas, he finds to his surprise that which one of the two doormen who'd been looking after it for him had been fired?
Jose.
No, Carlos. In The Little Friend, the Clive Dufresnes maid Ida Rue tells the protagonist Harriet about the time the Ratcliffe family burned down the town's church, blaming them for the death of which elderly woman who died immediately after the fire?
Etta Coffey.
Yes, in The Secret History, Richard tricks an airline reservations officer into telling him that Henry had booked 4 one-way tickets to which South American city?
Buenos Aires.
Yes, in The Little Friend, Pemberton Hull, the older brother of Harriet's friend Healy, tells the pair how he was chased by a bull moccasin snake at which local lake?
Pass.
Which of the principal characters from The Secret History makes a cameo appearance in The Goldfinch, being introduced to Theo at his engagement party?
Francis Abernathy.
Yes, in The Little Friend, when Harriet is hungry after the maid Ida Rue... I've started, so I'll finish. After the maid Ida Rue has gone home without preparing dinner, her mother offers 2 suggestions, neither of which Harriet considers acceptable. Toast or what flavour of ice cream?
Peppermint.
It is peppermint. Damien, you had just the 2 passes in The Little Friend. Pemberton Hull, the older brother of Harriet's friend Healy, tells the pair how he was chased by a bull moccasin snake at October Her Lake. And Hampden College is the fictional Vermont college. Yeah, you knew it.
Did.
Attended by the book's narrator, Richard Paypen. So at the end of that round, Damien, you've got 9 points.
Thank you.
And at the end of the specialist subjects round, let's have a look at the scores. In joint 3rd place with 6 points each, it's Scott and Nicola. In 2nd place with 9 points, it's Damien, and out ahead in 1st place, 10 points, it's Pamela. So now, it's general knowledge round. And if there's a tie at the end, then the number of passes is taken into account, and the person with the fewer passes is the winner. And if they're tied on passes as well, it's a tie break. So let's ask Scott to join us again, please. So, Scott, you start with 6 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. What's the standard chemical formula for water?
H2O.
Yes, in 1973, King Carl XVI Gustaf succeeded his father, Gustav VI Adolf, as king of which Scandinavian country?
Sweden.
Yes, the singer and musician Norah Jones, whose first 3 albums, Come Away With Me, Feels Like Home, and Not Too Late, all topped the UK chart, is the daughter of which well-known Indian sitar player?
Ravi Shankar.
Yes, the word edible describes food that's fit to eat. What corresponding adjective from the Latin for drinkable means safe to drink?
Potable.
Yes. What's the common name of the native British mammal with black velvety fur that spends almost all of its life underground and has the scientific name Talpa europea?
Mole.
Yes. In February 2023, which football club won the Scottish League Cup, beating Rangers 2-1 in the final?
Celtic.
Yes. What astronomical unit of distance is equal to about 3.26 light years or 19 trillion miles?
A parsec.
Yes. In 2003, the Met Office moved its headquarters to which city in southwest England?
Bristol.
No, Exeter. What's the first line of the traditional nursery rhyme published in 1830 by Sarah Josepha Hale, said to be based on an actual event when a girl brought her young pet sheep to her school?
Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep.
No, Mary Had a Little Lamb. Which British filmmaker directed the dramas Road to Position, Revolutionary Road and 1917?
Sam Mendes.
Yes, the word beady, meaning small, round and bright, is most commonly used to describe which sense organs?
The eyes.
Yes, the Belarusian human rights advocate Ales Bialyatsky and the Ukrainian human rights organization, the Center for Civil Liberties, were two of the three joint recipients of the 2022 Nobel Prize in which category?
The Peace Prize.
Yes, which American actress plays the nurse Carol Hathaway in the television drama series ER and the lawyer Alicia Florrick in The Good Wife?
Jane Smith.
No, Giuliana Margulies. The Italian cities of Florence and Pisa stand on the banks of which river?
The Arno.
Yes, in the name of the medical condition commonly known as IBS, the letter B stands for the name of what part of the digestive system?
Bowel.
Yes, what alliterative term was reputedly coined by the journalist H.L. Mencken in the 1920s to refer to areas of the southern United States where evangelical Christianity is particularly strong?
Bible Belt.
Yes, which Portuguese explorer led an expedition from Spain in 1519 in his flagship, the Trinidad, to discover a western sea route to the Spice Islands?
Vasco da Gama.
No, it was Ferdinand Magellan. And Scott, you had no passes at the end of that round. You've got 19 points. And next up, it's Nicola. Nicola, you start with 6 points. The score to beat as it stands is 19 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. The list of vices described by Pope Gregory I in the 6th century that includes gluttony, lust, sloth and envy is known as the 7 deadly what?
Sins.
Yes, what word for an alias, especially one used by an author, comes from the Greek for false name?
Pen name.
No, pseudonym. Which British singer had a posthumous UK #1 album in 2011 with Lioness, Hidden Treasures?
Amy Winehouse.
Yes, from 1948 until 1974, the cartoon strip Biffo the Bear appeared on the front cover of which children's comic?
Beano.
Yes, Waverley Railway Station, one of the busiest in Scotland, is in which city?
Edinburgh.
Yes, the chapter titles of which novel by Charles Dickens include I Am Born, I Am Sent Away from Home, I Have a Memorable Birthday, and I Fall into Captivity?
Bleak House.
No, David Copperfield. Which metallic element with the atomic number 12 was used in early flash photography in powder form as it burns with an intense bright light?
Neon.
No, magnesium. In Homer's Iliad, Achilles avenges the death of his friend Patroclus by killing which Trojan hero?
Helen.
No, Hector. In 2023, a National Theatre production of the play Dear England by James Graham featured Joseph Fiennes as which England football manager?
Graham Souness.
No, Gareth Southgate, in the name of the charity ASH, established by the Royal College of Physicians in 1971 to campaign for tobacco control. The letters ASH stand for Action on Smoking and what?
Habitualism.
No, Health. Which actor starred in 9 films with Katharine Hepburn, completing the final one, Guess Who's Coming to Dinner, just before he died in 1967?
Clark Gable.
No, Spencer Tracy, in the title of a late-night comedy crossover programme, first shown in 2012 and presented by Jimmy Carr. The panel series 8 out of 10 Cats is combined with what daytime game show?
Countdown.
Yes. What popular cocktail, said to have originated in Puerto Rico, has a name that translates from Spanish as strained pineapple?
Pina Colada.
Yes. Luanda is the capital city of which African country?
Tanzania.
No, Angola. What 5-letter Latin term meaning by things or by means of things is a name for a type of puzzle that consists of picture and letter clues that represent syllables or words?
Sudoku.
No, rebus. The peccary, sometimes called the javelina, is a wild mammal native to the Americas that's commonly said to resemble what farm animal?
A pig.
It is a pig. And Nicola, no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 13 points. Next up is Damien. Damien, you start with 9 points. The score to beat as it stands 19 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. Harold Macmillan, who served as UK Prime Minister in the 1950s and 60s, represented which political party?
Labour.
No, Conservative. In a poem published in 1794, what animal does William Blake describe as burning bright in the forests of the night?
Tiger.
Yes, the organisation known by the acronym JAXA is the space exploration agency of which Asian country?
Malawi.
No, Japan. What word, a portmanteau, defined as an extended period of instability and insecurity, was named by Collins Dictionary as its word of the year in 2022?
Permacrisis.
Yes, the aluminium figure, Christ in Majesty, mounted inside the Cathedral of Llandaff in Wales in the mid-1950s, is the work of which British sculptor?
More.
No, Jacob Epstein. A cold pudding made by adding lightly stewed soft fruits such as raspberries, red currants and black currants to a bread-lined base and shares its name with which season of the year?
Summer.
Yes, the Swiss city of Lausanne and the French spa town of Evian-les-Bains stand on opposite shores of which alpine lake?
Pass.
In a game of backgammon, a player rolls how many dice to take a turn?
2.
Yes, which American R&B group topped the UK singles and albums charts in 2001 with a song and album both entitled Survivor?
Destiny's Child.
Yes, what do the letters TT stand for in the name of the annual motorcycle races held on the Isle of Man?
Pass.
Who became the oldest person to win the Oscar for Best Actress when she received the award for her performance as an elderly widow in the 1989 film Driving Miss Daisy?
Jessica Tandy.
Yes, what old unit of length equal to 4 inches is still used to measure the height of horses?
Hand.
Yes, in January 2023, the designer Sabato Di Sarno succeeded Alessandro Michela as the creative director of which Italian fashion house?
Gucci.
Yes, in 1842, which future US president married Mary Ann Todd at her sister's home in Springfield, Illinois?
Lincoln.
Yes, what term from the Greek for walk on tiptoe can refer to a gymnast or tumbler or to someone who balances on a tightrope in a circus?
Walker.
No, acrobat. What television crime drama series that began in 2013 is adapted from a set of novels by Anne Cleeves and stars Douglas Henshall as the Scottish police detective Jimmy Perez?
Rebus.
No, Shetland. The words palmate and pinnate are used to classify the shape of what parts of a plant?
Leaves.
It is leaves. Just the 2 passes. TT in the Isle of Man, bike races, tourist trophy. And it's Lake Geneva, the Swiss city of Lausanne and the French spa town of Evian-les-Bains. And at the end of that round, Damien, you've got 19 points. And let's have Pamela again, please. Pamela, you start with 10 points. The score to beat to get through to the semi-finals is Scott and Damien's 19 points. And you've now got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge. Let's go. In North America, what food items can be ordered sunny side up or over easy?
Eggs.
Yes. What creature from ancient Egyptian mythology, depicted in a famous statue near the Great Pyramid of Giza, has a human head and the body of a lion?
Sphinx.
Yes. Which actor known for playing the Doctor in Doctor Who has portrayed the real-life characters Giacomo Casanova, Dennis Nielsen and Alexander Litvinenko in television drama series?
David Tennant.
Yes. In geometry, a complete or full angle measures how many degrees?
360.
Yes. Which British singer topped the UK albums chart in April 2023 with Higher Than Heaven?
Lewis Capaldi.
No, Ellie Goulding. Les Pays-Bas is the French name for which European country?
The Netherlands.
Yes, in the name of a short proposal submitted by an MP to draw attention in the House of Commons to a particular issue, the letters EDM stand for what?
Pass.
What 1963 comedy starring Jerry Lewis as a scientist who creates a potion that transforms him into a suave and handsome alter ego was remade in 1996 with Eddie Murphy in the title role?
The Nutty Professor.
Yes, what popular Christmas carol written by John Mason Neale in 1853 was inspired by the supposed generous deeds of a 10th century ruler of Bohemia?
Good King Wenceslas.
Yes, which city on the northeast coast of Australia, named after a 19th century governor of Queensland, is now a major centre for visitors travelling to the Great Barrier Reef?
Darwin.
No, Cairns, Bran Castle in Romania, is widely described as the home of which villainous character from a horror novel first published in 1897?
Dracula.
Yes, what's the rhyming name of the large wooden plane which was designed and piloted on its only flight by Howard Hughes in 1947?
Pass.
Which ice hockey team won the Stanley Cup in 2020 and 2021 but were beaten in the final of the 2022 competition by the Colorado Avalanche?
The Chicago Bears.
No, Tampa Bay Lightning. What term derived from a Greek word meaning living a double life is applied to a group of vertebrate animals capable of living both on land and in water?
Amphibian.
Yes, which Spanish conquistador and explorer led an expedition across the Panama Isthmus and is widely regarded as the first European to see the Pacific Ocean in 1513?
Pancho Villa.
No, Balboa. What name from the Latin for curve? I've studied, so I'll finish. What name from the Latin for curve is given to cavities in bone or other bodily tissue, especially those found either side of the nasal cavity?
Arcs.
Sinuses. Pamela, you had 2 passes, that Howard Hughes aircraft, Spruce Goose, and EDM. When an MP puts that forward, it's an early day motion. So, at the end of that round, Pamela, you have 19 points. So, let's have a look at the final scores. In 4th place with 13 points, it's Nicola. In 3rd place with 19 points and 4 passes, it's Damien. In 2nd place with 19 points and 2 passes, it's Pamela. Which means in 1st place with 19 points and no passes, it's Scott, which means he goes through to the semi-finals. Congratulations to him. If you'd like to be a contender in the next series, please go to our website, bbc.co.uk/mastermind, and you can follow us at Mastermind Quiz. Join us again next time for more Masterminds. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Surprised is how I would describe myself at the moment. I'm not in any pub quiz teams or anything like that. I just shout at the telly like a lot of people do back home.
And Scott, you had no passes at the end of that round. You've got 19 points.
Before I came on, I was hoping for a score around about 19 or 20. So when Clive said we're all on 19, that was, wow, yeah, tension-filled.
In 1st place with 19 points and no passes, it's Scott.
My mother's advice was very much not to pass, and you know, you should always listen to your mother, if nothing else in life. And so I feel that has stood me in great stead today.